going on, everybody? It's your main man back on the scene with another video. New to the channel, please smash that like button and subscribe. It will be greatly appreciated. Now, this just popped up. How did Batman Begins inadvertently lead to the creation of Smallville? Never heard this one before. So let's check it out. TV urban legend, the development of the film that ultimately became Batman Begins inadvertently led to the creation of the hit TV series Smallville. On October 16, 2001, WB debuted a new show, a new TV series, Smallville, spotlighting the teen and, as it turned out, young adult years of Clark Kent before he became Superman. And I love this show. It's one of my favorite shows. I went out of my way to go watch this show. It's a good show. To me, this is the best superhero-based TV show ever on TV. You know, I had my issues with the media rocks and all that, but besides that, this is the best show. And the fact that it lasted 10 years speaks to volumes of how much people like this show. So let's continue. The show was developed for television by Alfred Gough and Miles Millar, and produced by Gough and Millar, along with Toland Robbins Production, DC Comics, and Warner Brothers TV. No one could have imagined at the time, but the show would last a remarkable 10 seasons, outlasting even its network, as the WB merged with UPN in 2006 to form the CW. One of the most fascinating things about the whole Smallville endeavor is that it almost certainly would have never existed had it not been for the development of the film that ultimately became Batman Begins. It's interesting. Come and see how a film that didn't even come out until after the fourth season of Smallville was finished ended up having such a major impact on the TV series. In 1999, Peter Roth moved from 20th Century Fox Television to take over Warner Brothers Television, something that seems hard to believe now, but was an actual issue back in 1999, was that Warner Brothers Television and the WB, despite both being, owned by the same parent company, Time Warner, did not really have much of a connection to each other. For instance, just picking the first four notable the WB shows that I could think of from 1998-1999 season, between Dawson's Creek, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, another good show, Seventh Heaven, and Felicity. Not only were all four from different television studios, none of them were produced by Warner Brothers Television. Obviously, Roth felt that did not make sense, and when he took over Warner Brothers Television, he sought to have a more harmonious relationship between the network and its new studio. That makes sense. I mean, it's the same company. Why would you? That was like old school Microsoft Office. They, like Access, Excel, Word, were all developed independently, which made no sense. If it's all Microsoft Office, then it should be worked together and should work, again, more harmoniously together, which they finally got to act on point. But it's just basic logic. Okay, so, let's see where I live. Soon after Roth settled in, he received a phone call from Mike Toland and Brian Robbins, whose Toland Robbins Production had a contract with Warner Brothers Television. The pair had come up with an idea of doing a show about the early days of Bruce Wayne before he became Batman, which I believe we got something like that on Fox. It wasn't really about Bruce Wayne, it was more about Commissioner Gordon. Let's continue. They felt that since the Batman film franchise seemed to not be doing much at the time, following the relative failure of 1997 Batman and Robin, which was that's like what's happening right now with Thor: Love and Thunder. You know, Ragnarok. I guess they made pretty good money with it. It was a success, financial success. And you know me, I didn't like it because it was too jokey jokes. So what they did, they doubled down on it and just made it even stupider than this Ragnarok. And that's the same thing with Batman and Robin. The film before that, they had a little quirky little stuff in there. And they made good money, so they doubled down on it. And Batman and Robin was total cringe fest. But let's continue. One of those rare failures that still took in almost $240 million at the box office, which was a lot back then. You adjusted for inflation. That there would be an opening for bringing Batman back to TV with a much different approach, of course, than the famous 1960s Batman series, which definitely would not work today. There are problems. Their only problem, they spelled there wrong, was that the Warner Brothers movie studio was not willing to make Batman available, especially as it was in the middle of developing a film concept that was also based on the idea of showing how Bruce Wayne became Batman, inspired by the excellent Batman storyline, Batman Year One. That concept went down a number of development dead ends until Christopher Nolan finally brought it to the big screen as Batman Begins. You know what? It would have been cool if they did have a show where Bruce was younger, like they did with Smallville as a teenager when he was younger. That would have been cool if they did it at that time. And right now, I'm kind of like, no more Batman origin stories. Let's continue. Content went down a number of. Oh yeah, okay, we read that already. However, in 1999, Roth was unable to get the movie studio to budge on freeing Batman up for a TV show, so he had to tell Tolan and Robbins that the idea was a no-go. Now that they brought up the idea, though, Roth felt there was another way they could do this. How did it show up? Blah, blah, blah. In a book, season finale, The Unexpected Rise and Fall of WB and UPN by Suzanne Daniels and Cynthia Littleton, Daniels, the head of WB's entertainment division at the time, recalled Roth approaching her in the summer of 2000. He took his time telling me how they were developing the perfect property for the network and its Buffy the Vampire Slayer action fantasy loving demographic. So what is it? I said, curious. I felt totally comfortable with Peter. I didn't have to make any pretense toward niceties. My lunch was getting cold while he launched into his pitch. Superman, young Superman, Roth said. It's Clark Kent in high school in his hometown of Smallville, just as he's realizing he has powers. Do you think it's perfect? Superman. I replied incredulously, Superman? Don't you think Superman is over, Peter? Really, can Superman possibly be hip again? Within a few weeks, I was eating my words. Like, chick, shut up. Superman is the best-selling character of all time. And anyway, anyways, I think they went in the right direction. Superman as a young kid with powers is more exciting than Bruce Wayne, hands down. There's nothing special about Bruce Wayne as a little boy compared to Superman. Yes, you guessed it. Roth felt that if they couldn't use Batman, they should use Superman. So he had Tolan and Robin adapt their Bruce Wayne before he was Batman concept and turn it into Clark Kent before he was Superman. They all needed someone to develop this concept into a television show, of course, and luckily, Alfred Goh and Miles Millar were currently working for Warner Brothers Television at the time on a show called The Strip about a group of casino security guards in Las Vegas. Excuse me. To go with what I was saying earlier about the lack of synchronicity, at the time, Warner Brothers TV produced The Strip for UPN, the station owned by Viacom, a rival to Time Warner. Go and Millar's path to getting Smallville is fascinating in its own regard, and I'll explore that in its own future TV Legends Revealed. Simply put, Go and Miller developed the concept into what we know and love as Smallville, and so a happy accident, Warner Brothers not allowing a Batman TV show to be made led to a classic TV series. The legend is, yeah, this is one of those situations where that the original idea wasn't as good as the one that they ended up with. Superman, again, as a teenager, because he actually has powers, is more exciting than Bruce Wayne as a teenager. So anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.